In a world where great powers clash, the United States, the giant that dominated the 20th century, staggers under the weight of internal and external contradictions that threaten to dethrone it from global supremacy. Between cryptic mathematical predictions and grim social analyses, voices rise, warning of the fall of an empire that has long stood as a symbol of the world's greatest dream. Are we witnessing an inevitable collapse? Or does America still have the ability to reinvent itself? This video embarks on a journey through the prophecies of scholars and the analyses of thinkers to explore the answers. Mohammad Sediq Afghan. Does mathematics predict the future, or are these equations mere coincidence? In a world where geopolitics is shaped by wars and alliances, Mohammad Sediq Afghan stands apart as a mathematician who rewrites history through numbers, not intuition. Dubbed the Nostradamus of the modern era and the king of mathematics, his predictions are not mere speculation. They are the result of intricate equations designed to forecast geopolitical trajectories years in advance. In 1989, he predicted the collapse of the Soviet Union, an idea many dismissed, yet by 1991, history proved him right. In 2013, he pointed to 2020 high as a pivotal moment in global history, years before the COVID-19 pandemic upended the world. Today, his calculations are focused on 2025, which he sees as the beginning of America's decline as a dominant power, with high 2027 marking its complete downfall. To Afghan, history is not just a sequence of events, but a numerical code waiting to be deciphered. Those who hold the key can glimpse the future before it unfolds. Even the legendary Bulgarian mystic Baba Vanga alluded to him, predicting that one day a mathematician would unveil everything. So, does Afghan truly hold the key to time itself? Or are these numbers concealing an illusion yet to be unraveled? Mathematics as a mirror of the future. Afghan relies on mathematical equations that connect historical patterns with current data, asserting that the margin of error in his predictions does not exceed 20%. According to his analysis, major upcoming transformations include the collapse of the European Union, expected to begin between 2027 and 2032 due to accumulated political and economic crises. Nuclear war. While the likelihood of its outbreak increases after 2055, he rules out the possibility of it occurring before then. The fate of the United States. It is projected to lose its status as a global superpower by 2027, coinciding with escalating internal conflicts and the failure of its foreign policies. Afghan emphasizes that the critical point for these changes will begin in 2025, accelerating the decline of US global dominance by 2027. Johan Galtung's prophecy. The fall of an empire foretold. For decades, Norwegian sociologist Johan Galtung, the founding father of peace and conflict studies, has been warning that the United States is on a trajectory toward collapse. In 2000, he made a bold prediction. The American empire would crumble within 25 years, meaning by 2025. But unlike speculative theories, Galtung's forecast is rooted in a deep analysis of structural contradictions that have historically led to the downfall of great powers. He identifies 4 fatal contradictions that are eating away at the US from within. 1. Economic instability. Skyrocketing debt exceeding $36 trillion. Recurrent financial bubbles and fierce competition from China's Belt and Road Initiative. 2. Military overreach. Endless wars in the Middle East, unsustainable costs and weakening alliances like NATO. 3. Political polarization. a nation divided between Republicans and Democrats to the point where some states are now being viewed as independent republics in waiting. Fourth, social fragmentation. A widening wealth gap, rising crime rates, and intensifying racial tensions. Galtung argues that Donald Trump's presidency accelerated America's decline by embracing isolationist policies, withdrawing from international agreements, and forging alliances with authoritarian regimes. His stance on dismantling NATO, exiting the World Health Organization, and undermining global institutions has transformed the US from a stabilizing force into what Galtung calls a pariah state. Unlike Rome or the Soviet Union, America's collapse may not come in the form of a dramatic implosion, but through a gradual erosion of influence, power, and unity. The very forces that built the empire, economic dominance, military prowess, and ideological leadership, are now unraveling from within. As 2025 approaches, the question remains: is America heading toward inevitable decline, or can it defy history and reinvent itself before it's too late? Elon Musk, the billionaire who foresees civil war in America. Predictions about the future of the United States aren't confined to scholars and historians. They also extend to visionaries in the business world. One of the most striking voices in this regard is Elon Musk, the world's richest man, who recently sent shockwaves through social media with a chilling warning. A civil war in America is inevitable. Musk attributes this looming catastrophe to two key factors. One, uncontrolled immigration. He argues that the influx of undocumented migrants is eroding social cohesion and deepening internal divisions. Two, a heavily armed society, with over 400 million firearms, more than the country's total population. America has become a powder keg where any spark could ignite large-scale violence. Why is Musk sounding the alarm? Musk's concerns are not baseless paranoia, but rather a reflection of mounting tensions within the United States. Extreme political polarization. The ideological chasm between Republicans and Democrats has reached a point where civil discourse is nearly impossible. Rising secessionist sentiments. In key states like Texas and California, up to 34% of the population supports breaking away from the Union, a number that continues to grow. Economic uncertainty. Inflation, wealth inequality, and the skyrocketing cost of living have fueled widespread discontent, making violent uprisings more likely. Musk's warning is particularly alarming given his influence and track record of predicting global trends. Whether his prophecy materializes remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. America's internal divisions are reaching a dangerous boiling point, and the next few years could determine whether the world's most powerful nation holds together or descends into chaos.
Thomas Friedman, America is collapsing by its own hand. In his shocking article, The Great Collapse, renowned journalist Thomas Friedman paints a grim picture of the United States' future, arguing that its downfall will not come from an external blow dealt by Russia or China, but from its own internal mistakes and short-sighted policies. According to Friedman, under Trump's leadership, America abandoned the global leadership model established by administrations like that of John F. Kennedy, which was based on supporting allies, protecting democracy, and ensuring global stability. Instead, U.S. policy has shifted toward a mix of isolationism and opportunism, favoring individual deals over long-term strategic alliances. Friedman highlights three catastrophic mistakes that have undermined American dominance. 1. Refusing to bear the costs of supporting allies. The U.S. withdrew from its commitments to NATO, making it less reliable in the eyes of European allies. It abandoned traditional partners, allowing other powers like China and Russia to fill the political and economic vacuum left behind. 2. Abandoning democratic values in favor of short-term deals. America has shifted from defending human rights and democracy to solely pursuing economic and political gains. It has supported authoritarian regimes in exchange for financial or strategic benefits, eroding its credibility as the leader of the free world. 3. Withdrawing from international organizations and weakening soft power. Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement, the World Health Organization, and other key agreements that played a crucial role in shaping the global order. These withdrawals created a void that rising powers, especially China, quickly filled, strengthening their economic and diplomatic influence. According to Friedman, these policies have transformed America from a force of stability into a geopolitical thief, seeking to seize others' resources through core threats and violence rather than building trust-based alliances. He warns that the real collapse will come from within. As economic crises deepen, social divisions widen, and political polarization intensifies, leaving the US increasingly vulnerable to chaos. The pressing question Friedman raises is there still time to save the empire, or is America digging its own grave? Conclusion: America. Between the specter of collapse and the chance for renewal. At a crossroads, the United States stands between prophecies of decline and the possibility of reinvention. Amid precise mathematical calculations, deep social analyses, and urgent warnings from both within and beyond, a fundamental question arises. Will America crumble under the weight of its contradictions, or will it reshape itself as great powers have done throughout history? Empires do not fall overnight. They erode gradually, and what seems inevitable today may become a lesson in survival tomorrow. Perhaps 2025 marks the beginning of the end, or maybe it is just another turning point in a long journey, testing America's ability to confront its crises and escape its self-made traps. In the end, history is never pre-written. Only the future holds the answer.